very much, Tumi, and welcome to a very, very hot Nelspruit. Well, we are at the Church on the Hill, and that is where this evening, for the very first time, we're going to get a sense of what is going to be contained in the ANC's Election Manifesto that will be officially unveiled tomorrow. And joining me now to give us a glimpse, but also the state and level of readiness for tomorrow is Jackson Mthembu, who's the national spokesperson of the ANC, but also a member of the National Executive Committee of the governing party. Welcome, Mr. Mthembu, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Vuyo.
Well, first, let's start let's talk about what is going to happen here this evening. Who is going to be here, and what are they going to hear?
We have invited guests that include traditional leaders, that include our diplomats from various countries who are working in their diplomatic places here in South Africa. Also, we'll have our business people who will also be in attendance here. Our religious leaders, they will also be in attendance here, apart from our alliance partners, of course, and our youth league formations who are part, and women's league formations, the veterans who are part of the hosting. So these are all people who will be here tonight. The capacity, of course, the National Executive Committee, because it's the hosting structure of the ANC, will also be here. These are the people who will be here to hear the President unveil our manifesto this evening. But secondly, we won't only be unveiling our election manifesto, we will also be unveiling our election songs. We have a whole album that we will be playing throughout the length and breadth of South Africa as we canvass for people to vote for the ANC, because we have a good story to tell.
Why tonight, though? Why couldn't all of this wait for tomorrow when the manifesto is being unveiled at the rally at the Mbombela Stadium? It's highlights of the manifesto that the president will speak to today. You know that for elections you need all the monies that you can get your hands on. So today it's a gala dinner that will unveil the manifesto and also unveil our election songs, because we have got many people who have bought tables, who have come forward to the ANC and said, we want to contribute to the election campaign. We always have. Every time we have activities of this nature, we first have a gala dinner where we mix with our business people, we mix again with our leadership in government as well. Our mayors, of course, will also be here from the length and breadth of our country, and also our premiers and MECs and ministers will also be here. So this is time that we make available for business traditional leaders to interact with the leadership of the ANC and also the leadership of the ANC that we have deployed in government. So it's in by and large a fundraising effort, but also an opportunity to network.
Definitely, it is a fundraising effort, but an opportunity to interact with various stakeholders in South Africa, but more importantly, for these stakeholders to get a glimpse of our manifesto, because also for some of them, or not, if not all of them, to associate with this election manifesto of the African National Congress. You will not have that opportunity at the stadium tomorrow. At the stadium, we'll have over 100,000 people who will be in attendance, in the main supporters of the ANC and the members of the ANC, who then themselves will then take the manifesto to the ground. But today we have an opportunity to interact with other stakeholders who are not necessarily in the ANC structures, so that they can have a glimpse of the manifesto, and then also in their own sectoral formations take the ANC election manifesto forward.
Now, you have said, you said in the media briefing that you addressed yesterday with the Secretary General of the party, that the President is the one who must be given that opportunity to be the first to say or to talk to the contents of that manifesto. But for someone who may be disinterested, what's in it for them, or what do you say to them? Why should they come to Mbombela Stadium to listen to you talking about your manifesto tomorrow? What's at stake for the ordinary person in Nelspruit who may or
be able to come here, but hasn't as yet perhaps found a reason to go there tomorrow.
Vuyo, this manifesto launch tomorrow and unveiling today is a culmination of a whole year process. You will know that we have been throughout the length and breadth of our country, including of this province in Mpumalanga, canvassing from people what is it that they would like to see in this manifesto. Tomorrow and today will then be responding to what they have said to us in the manifesto forums, because everything that they said will be accommodated in the manifesto forums in a broad framework. For instance, in the main, people have been talking about jobs. Indeed, they can come and hear what is it that we're saying about jobs. Everywhere we went, by the way, jobs were very prominent. Please, let's have jobs. Let's create jobs for our children, by elderly people, for the youth saying, can we create jobs for young people? So these are one of the things that we will be responding to. Secondly, people throughout the length and breadth of our country were saying to us, how do we grow the economy beyond 3%? Then I believe that the manifesto of the ANC will also respond to that matter that has been raised by various people, not only business people, but also ordinary people, and also people in the surrounding countries, Mozambique, and by the way, we have also spoken to people in the surrounding countries, because when South Africa does well economically, also people of Mozambique will do well, and also people of Swaziland will do well. So indeed, we will also be responding to how in these 5 years are we going to grow the economy. Therefore, everybody is allowed to come to the manifesto launch, because there's everything for everybody on what the ANC is going to do in the next 5 years to better the lives of South Africans.
Jobs, the economy, definitely on the agenda of many South Africans, but so are issues like e-tolling, for example. Are you going to be speaking to that? So are issues of corruption, for example. So is the issue of the whole Nkandla security upgrade. Will those issues be on the table as well?
You will know that there is a report, so there are other issues that we don't even need to talk to in a manifesto. There is a government report on the Nkandla security upgrades, and you know what the ANC take is on that report. We have welcomed the report, and we have said those who have corruptly benefited from the Nkandla security upgrades must be pursued criminally, and indeed, they must also pay back our monies to the fiscus, because we cannot afford people inflating prices so that they can line their pockets. We are saying all those, whether be they contractors or be they civil servants, but that is not a matter for a manifesto. Yes, the broader issue of corruption. Yes. There is no way that an ANC manifesto will not also mention what are we going to do with regard to corruption. As you know, Vuyo, in 2009 we had 5 priorities. One of the priority areas that we have been working on, in our view, we still need to work on that priority area, is fighting crime and corruption. So it's one of those areas that, in our view, in my view, will also be part of the manifesto.
Mr. Jackson Mthembu, thank you very much for talking to us. Well, Mr. Jackson Mthembu, a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, but also the national spokesperson of the African National Congress. We will, of course, be bringing you that gala dinner live on Channel 404 this evening, starting at 7 o'clock. I'll be your host, so join us then. But for now, it's back to the studio.